What if I told you that fortunes were once made from dog droppings? That people paid gold for bones that weren't even real? That entire empires were built on secrets guarded with the threat of death? The history of money is not just about coins and trade, it's about human imagination pushed to its limits. Some of the strangest, boldest money-making schemes ever dreamed up are still teaching us lessons today. Since the beginning of time, humans have searched for ways to survive, thrive, and, eventually, get ahead of the crowd. Making money has never just been about trade or labor, it has also been about imagination. The most successful people in every age weren't always the strongest or the richest, but the ones who could see opportunity where others only saw obstacles. History is filled with examples of strange, ingenious, and sometimes controversial ways people made fortunes. Some of these methods shaped entire economies. Others disappeared as quickly as they appeared. But all of them reveal something important, that creativity is one of humanity's oldest currencies. In the ancient world, Rome provides one of the most unusual examples of monetizing the mundane. Emperor Vespasian faced a treasury drained by war, and so he introduced a tax on something no one thought valuable. Collected from public urinals, it was sold to tanners and launderers, who prized the ammonia for cleaning fabrics and setting dyes. The saying "money does not stink" actually comes from this policy, and it became a symbol of Roman practicality. While bizarre, the lesson is clear. Waste itself can be turned into wealth. Centuries later, recycling industries would be built on the same principle, proving that what society discards often holds hidden value. China, during the Han Dynasty, provides another fascinating story. Silk was so rare and coveted that it became an international currency. Yet the true gold mine was not the fabric itself, but the secret behind its production. For centuries, China guarded the knowledge of silkworm cultivation with extreme secrecy. Smugglers who managed to steal silkworm eggs or mulberry seeds were risking death. But those who succeeded opened the door to an entirely new economy for other nations. What this teaches us is that information and exclusivity can be just as profitable as the product itself. In today's world, owning intellectual property, whether a patent, a formula, or a digital algorithm, follows the same logic. As Europe entered the medieval era, money-making often blended with belief and superstition. The Catholic Church's sale of indulgences, paper certificates promising forgiveness for sins, brought in staggering amounts of wealth. Pilgrims paid fortunes to see or touch holy relics, many of which were fake bones or fragments invented by crafty sellers. This may sound absurd, but it highlights a powerful truth. People will always spend on hope, meaning, and experiences that feel larger than life. At the same time, traveling entertainers, healers, and fortune-tellers made their living by captivating crowds in marketplaces. Their income didn't come from the accuracy of their cures or predictions, but from their ability to perform and persuade. These early entrepreneurs showed that charisma itself could be monetized, a lesson that translates directly into the influence industry of today. The Renaissance expanded these opportunities by blending art, science, and spectacle. Leonardo da Vinci is remembered as a painter, but much of his income came from designing machines, staging pageants, and offering his patrons visions of the future. Artists and inventors of this era understood that creativity could be packaged for the wealthy elite, who would pay handsomely to be entertained, dazzled, or made to feel ahead of their time. On the streets, illusionists and tricksters earned coins by amazing passers-by with visual tricks, laying the foundation for the paid magic shows that would flourish centuries later. The thread running through these examples is timeless. Entertainment sells, and spectacle multiplies value. The industrial age saw money-making schemes rise in scale and diversity. In Victorian London, an entire underground economy thrived on trash. Bone grubbers collected animal bones for use in glue and fertilizer. Rag pickers supplied textile mills with cloth scraps, and even dog dung was gathered and sold at. Poverty drove this creativity, but it also revealed how a city's waste could fuel industries. Across the Atlantic, P.T. Barnum mastered the art of storytelling, turning hoaxes into box-office gold. He presented oddities, curiosities, and sometimes outright fakes, but people happily paid for the thrill. His genius lay not in the authenticity of his products, but in his ability to frame them as must-see spectacles. Around the same time, in Paris, swindlers managed to sell the Eiffel Tower for scrap not once, but twice simply, by crafting a convincing story for gullible buyers. This shows how persuasion and narrative can become powerful currencies in themselves. The 20th century brought new forms of financial creativity. Some legal and others infamous. Charles Ponzi built his empire by exploiting hype, convincing people he could deliver 50% returns in under 2 months. His scheme collapsed, but it revealed the power of FOMO, fear of missing out, as a driver of investment. Meanwhile, prohibition in the United States turned alcohol into a black market commodity, creating fortunes for bootleggers who supplied what law and demand kept scarce. Even outside crime, entrepreneurs thrived on new cultural shifts. In Hollywood, film producers monetized dreams. In music, record labels packaged rebellion. The common thread was spotting what people craved and finding a way to deliver it, whether or not the reality kept pace. Finally, in the digital age, creativity found its most explosive outlet yet. In the 1990s, opportunists who registered simple domain names like business.com or pizza.com for a few dollars ended up selling them for millions. In virtual worlds like World of Warcraft, gamers realized they could farm digital gold and trade it for real money, creating entire cottage industries in cyberspace. More recently, memes, NFTs, and viral videos have demonstrated that even jokes and internet culture can be monetized. The principle hasn't changed since Roman times. Attention is currency. If you can capture it, you can convert it. Looking across these eras, one thing becomes clear. From taxing urine to flipping domain names, money has always followed imagination. The most profitable opportunities rarely come from brute force or inherited wealth. Instead, they come from seeing value where others see none, from telling stories that people want to believe, and from filling gaps that no one else has noticed. The creativity that drove Roman emperors, medieval healers, Renaissance artists, Victorian scavengers, and digital entrepreneurs is the same creativity available today. History shows us that the future of wealth does not belong to those with the most resources. It belongs to those who can see opportunity where no one else is looking.